If you're like me, you probably had to do something hard today. I mean, personally, I hate washing out socks. That's why we made Geico.com so exceedingly easy. Easy to see how much you could save on car insurance, easy to review and update your policy. Change of address. Just a few clicks and you're done. Visit Geico.com today, because life is hard enough. I mean, I don't even wear socks.
Blog Talk Radio.
We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.
I am your host, Crossfire the Crusader, and I am here with ARTISTEROI for this week's special fun show, a little change from what we've been doing. We're going to have a little fun show this week, Trick Your Supermobile, with our gadgeteer extraordinaire, ARTISTEROI. Anybody that wants to call in, the number is 917-889-3317, and we will gladly welcome you into the conversation as ARTISTEROI is going to teach us how to turn our Geo Metro into a full-fledged crime-fighting supermobile. So, ARTISTEROI, I'm going to turn it over to you. Let's just see where we go with this.
Well, Geo Metro. I don't know if that can be turned into a supermobile or not. I mean, you've kind of got to get a good base going to start with. Of course, Thanatos uses a Ford Tempo or a Taurus, one or the other. So I suppose anything's possible.
Anyway, so. Pintos are bulletproof, so.
Well, mostly what you want to have in a, in your supermobile. I guess it really depends on what your mission is. If you're out looking for stranded motorists and stuff like that, if you know anything about cars, you're going to want to have some, gasoline, tire jacks, that sort of thing, jumper cables. Something to help people out with their vehicles if they're stranded. But, you're going to want to know what you're doing, too. I mean, you don't want to go out there and say, yeah, I'll help you out, and start taking somebody's engine apart and not be able to put it back together. That would be a bad thing.
Well, definitely. There was a guy, I think it was either Memphis or Nashville, in Tennessee, back in the 80s, that called himself the Batman.
Uh-huh.
He didn't dress like Batman, but he had a Camaro, and he had hooked it up. He had a cool water system where he could take and fill up a water jug and do water on the side of the highway. He had jumper cables. He had all the tools, everything built into this. And he basically turned this car into a roadside assistance thing, and he had the bat symbol on the hood and the little flashing light, like on the top, like the old school TV Batman. Mm-hmm. And he would cruise the bypasses and the interstates around his city and help stranded motorists.
That's pretty cool.
If I remember right, he actually had a speakers hooked up to the outside of the car where when he pulled up, he'd be playing the da-da-da-da-da-da.
That's pretty cool.
I remember them doing a feature on him on a show called Real People back in the 80s.
I think I recall seeing that, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he would...
So I think he was on the same show as Captain Sticky, to be honest. I think they did like a superhero episode or something.
Well, I know they have the Road Rangers in a lot of places. They have them here in Tampa, where I live at. So you see them out on the highways a lot whenever somebody's stranded and they go out and help out. So those are pretty good guys too. Of course, Superhero's got the most popular supermobile. He's got that nice little Stingray, and I got a chance to ride around in it yesterday. So that was pretty cool.
Did he get it up into the triple digits on the highway?
No. I haven't been out on the highway with it yet. Mostly it's just red light traffic. So but it'll leave a red light pretty quickly, which is nice.
He said it doesn't seem to have a top end from what I've heard. It seems to just want to keep getting faster.
I don't know. I haven't really been in the really fast lane with it yet. Cruising around here at town, you go one block and then there's another red light, so there's not much chance to get above 60. You get up to 60 and then you have to stop. So,
well, in taking our, going back to taking our Geo Metro or Pinto or Ford Ranger pickup or whatever vehicle we start with. Of course, you do want a vehicle that's going to be dependable, not like some of the junk I've had over the years, but we did mention off the line that probably the first thing you need is a good GPS system, no matter what you're doing, whether you're doing charity events or crime patrols or neighborhood watch, whatever you want to call it. You want to be able to find where you're going and get home afterwards. So that's the first thing that we would suggest. Isn't that correct?
Yeah. Well, there's two types of supermobiles. There's one that's the ones that stand out like Superheroes does, and there's the ones that you can hide with. And then I know there's a lot of RLSH out there who like the hide in the shadows things and the blend in sort of stuff. So they would want the more common cars. They wouldn't want something that stands out.
Your standard black unmarked van.
I don't know if I would go with an unmarked van or not. That seems kind of suspicious off the top right there. But yeah, I suppose so. Master Legend's got the Justice van, and it's pretty tricked out. It's got a lot of gear and equipment in the back of it that him and Symbiote use a lot in Orlando for their homeless outreach.
He's got shells in the back of it, doesn't he?
Pardon?
To put supplies and stuff. He's got shells in the back to put supplies.
Oh well, it's got tools and it's got equipment cages. It's got a lot of stuff in it.
Yeah,
we're probably going to hook it up with a helium bottle here pretty soon, actually. What's that?
I had once thought about purchasing a used ambulance to use for my clown business because the storage space on it is just incredible. I mean, there's no dead space in an ambulance. Cabinets, the inside and outside shelves, everywhere is built for storage.
Yeah, that'd be good. I wouldn't mind having an ambulance. I've been looking for a vintage Volkswagen van for myself, actually. So I think that would go best with my gimmick if I could find one.
Definitely. What about communications? When I start thinking about fixing up a vehicle, I'm from Redneck USA here, and I immediately think CB radio. What are some communication options besides the cell phone? What might you put in your car that would be to your benefit? Police scanner, CB radios, anything like that?
Well, I guess CB radio is still around, but it's pretty outdated now. Just about everybody has cell phones, and a cell phone's a much better form of communication. But it's not open all the time like a CB is. So I can see the advantages of having a CB. That way you would have a direct line of communication with the local area. So. Yeah.
Of course, if you're working with a group, you can also use the CB in conjunction with the handheld walkie-talkie.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
With the walkies having a larger range, the vehicle would actually have a larger range to keep you in touch with people in the field. If you had a group of people out there doing a homeless handout or something, I would think a CB would be a decent addition to the communication there.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see a CB being a sort of midpoint relay. If you had the supermobile in the middle and everybody's fanned out in different directions, walkie-talkie's got, 2-mile range or something like that? So you could go 5. Well, that's pretty good. Well, anyhow, you could double your range by putting the CB in the middle of it and making it a relay station and have somebody man that area.
Yeah, definitely good for an Oracle sitting there in the van, I would guess.
Mhm. Yep.
Now, what about the possibility of you're out in a vehicle? What about the possibility of like an internet type of situation for your person in the van?
Well,
you see the computers in the back of the van. How would you set something like that up in your car?
Well, there's the hotspots for Wi-Fi hotspots are, they're pretty prevalent anymore. Just about any business will have some sort of hotspot, especially if you're in a downtown area. But there is also that you can get what's called a MiFi, which is a portable hotspot that you can plug in to. Well, it runs on batteries, actually. You can just put it in your pocket. It's a little tiny thing, and it connects to cell phone towers, and it creates an internet access port anywhere you are.
That would definitely be good, because I know the one thing I had suggested some folks before for communications is you can do your Yahoo Messenger or MSN Messenger through your cell phone, especially through the smartphones.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd have real-time communication through text messaging back and forth right there to get information back and forth to each other.
Yep. Plus, you could look up any type of information that you might need, I don't know, you could look up crime statistics for an area, or, if you seen a suspicious character, you got a picture of him or something, you could quickly access a database or something like that. I don't know. But, it would be good to have something like that, a mobile communication center in the supermobile.
Mm-hmm. Well, we realize that jet engines and hidden machine guns are probably not the best thing to put on a vehicle outside of the movies. I mean, that looks really cool with Batman pops out a machine gun, but we realize that, in what we do, that's just the quickest way to go to jail and make the easy news. But,
we definitely don't want any Mad Max stuff going on.
What kind of really off-the-wall gadgets might you suggest for a supermobile that doesn't mind being seen?
I don't know. There's a lot of stuff available specifically for cars nowadays with the tuner crowds and stuff. The lights and what have you. You can get all sorts of fancy stuff, but I don't know how useful any of it is. It's a lot of showy kind of. Just showing off for the crowd sort of thing. And I don't know. As far as an RLSH goes, I'm not sure how helpful anything like that would be.
I guess
perhaps
if I was doing something for a show, for like we're going to set up in a parking lot and do a demonstration, I might want to mount it would be really cool to mount a net launcher on top of it. You can build one of those out of PVC. If you go to Instructables, that'd be really cool for a demonstration. You have your bad guy out there dressed up, the person playing the heel, and of course the supermobile pulls up, pops the net at him. It'd be really impractical driving down the road, I would think so.
Yeah, that may not be the most practical thing in the world, but it would look really cool. So, there used to be a show on called Super Garage where they would trick out all these cars and do all kinds of craziness with them. And I seen one that was a limousine, and they made it a fire truck, right? And it had a pop-up water cannon on it, and so it was pretty cool. But it was a stretch limo, and then it transformed into a fire engine. So, and I thought that was pretty neat.
Here's a thought for you. You're out there and out and about in your vehicle, whether you see or seen or unseen, whether you're stealth or flash. There are going to be times that you wish you really had video evidence. How many times have you seen something, man, I wish I had a camera? How would you go about it fitting your vehicle with cameras that could record what's being seen around the vehicle. What were your thoughts on that? How practical is that?
That's something I've actually thought about before. Simply driving the streets here in Florida, I see an opportunity to start a website about Florida drivers because from all the craziness that I see going on a daily basis, and the problem is that by the time that you've seen it, it's too late to shoot it. You kind of have to have it prepped and have a camera ready where you can just turn it on and start recording as soon as you see something. So yeah, I've thought about actually mounting a camera on my dash with just like so I could reach up and push a button and set it off whenever it's time to record some idiot in front of me. So
yeah.
But yeah, that's something that I've actually thought about doing.
I don't think it would be real hard with the technology available today to set up something like that you could actually have cameras pointed front and back and both sides and have a little control sitting right there, something like an iPad or something,
Yeah, with the modern cameras and the modern cell phones that are available, it shouldn't be that hard to set up some sort of video system. There's a lot of sports cameras too that are designed for quick action, and they just have a little start button on them, and they're designed to go on helmets and stuff like that, and you can just hit the start button and it's recording, and it records it to an SD card. So getting video equipment in a supermobile shouldn't be that hard right now.
Oh, there's an idea. What about you talk about helmet cams? Suppose you got a team, heroes 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the guy in the van, and you want to outfit the heroes with a helmet cam or a those cam clips on their pocket. Is there something that could be set up that would relay that message, that video back to the van?
Mm-hmm.
For it to be observed and right there, and kind of gives you some security. And then, of course, the potential for somebody in spandex doing something stupid that's YouTube worthy is always good.
This is true.
I'm not too proud to laugh at myself, and I hope nobody in this community is that serious too. And realize when you put on a suit and you go out there and you do something and you fall on your butt, it's funny.
Yeah.
And
there are several cameras. Well, there are several cameras on the market right now that will automatically upload once it's reached its file size limit. It will automatically upload it to a website through cell phone systems. And I know that I think C is working on a software system for RLSH that will take video and automatically relay it back to an oracle. So
that would be good.
Yeah. Yep. So there's a lot of good innovation coming.
You're out there walking around, no matter what you're doing, whether you're doing a charity event or whatever. When you're out there walking around, the potential of walking up on something that's worth recording is good.
Yeah.
It's either be entertaining, informative, or just downright, quote. It needs evidence for court. You never know what you're going to walk up.
Yeah, and the trick is that you've got to be ready for it. I mean, you can't say, "Oh, let me grab my camera and record this," because it's too late by the time you grab your camera. You've got to have it ready. So, yeah.
Definitely. What about spotlights? How do you feel about those? I've seen people that get to use police cars and they have the mounted spotlights. Do you think it's better to have a permanent mount on one or one that plugs into a cigarette lighter? Or just none at all?
I would say have one that's mounted to plugged into a cigarette lighter, simply because spotlights are illegal in some places. I know where I grew up, if you had a spotlight mounted on your car, it meant that you were illegally poaching animals, poaching deer at nighttime, and the cops would absolutely pull you over and impound your vehicle. So I would not recommend mounting one. I have seen people with old police cars with the spotlight still intact on them. But I don't know if those actually work or not. But I suppose they might.
I know I used them when I did security work. We used those, coming to an area where we're patrolling, use that to shine in the shadows and such. A lot of times you can increase your range of effectiveness by being able to do a drive-through by having the light that you can shine into the dark corners and alleys and stuff. That was always nice. Of course, we went for the overkill. We had the 1,000,000 candle watt instead of the 100,000 candle watt. You always go for the overkill on that. You guys.
Yep. Yeah, that's a big light. That's a lot of light.
You could burn yourself with it. It was bad.
Yeah.
We took sandwiches, toast the bread. Oh, goodness. There's actually, it seems like there's actually a lot of stuff you can do without really getting into the whole James Bond thing of creating, laser pins and all that kind of nonsense. But you could actually really easily turn any vehicle into a good mobile command center just for stuff you get at Radio Shack. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of good equipment that you can get from various different places. I don't know how much I would get from Radio Shack, simply because their prices are a little steep. But yeah, there's a lot of good equipment that you can have, and of course, like I said, it depends on your mission. Someone like Night Owl, who's a certified paramedic, would want some rescue gear in his car, and I know that he had some issues with someone breaking into his car last week, and he lost a lot of equipment. So there's always that to consider also. If you've got a supermobile, it's got to be well stocked for whatever your mission is, and you also have to be able to keep it well stocked without losing your equipment, which would be bad.
So what's some good ideas for a security system for a supermobile? I mean, it'd be really neat to think, I can put this motion detector on that if somebody gets too close, it says, what's the password? If you get the password wrong, it sprays them with pepper spray and drops a rock on them, But, again, we're in this area of ridiculous and illegal.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of good security systems out on the market nowadays, but the problem with them is that nobody checks a car alarm anymore. You can hear a car alarm go off, and nobody even looks at it. So unless it's actually your car and the alarm is going off, you're probably not going to check it. So it doesn't really do much good if you park your car at the mall and then you go inside the mall and your car alarm goes off. Nobody's going to check on it. And unless you're right.
Put a fire alarm on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know when I tricked out our back door at the hotel that one time, I used a smoke detector and converted it to a door alarm, and you could actually hear that smoke detector about 3 blocks away.
Yeah.
Little MacGyver business I did there. But, and when people hear a smoke detector, they come unglued.
Yeah.
They're not worried about the car alarm, unless it's their car, but when they hear a smoke detector, that could mean danger to them, and they act on it, It's really neat.
That's a good idea. A jury-rigged smoke detector for a car alarm would actually attract more attention than, a car alarm. So, yeah, I can see where that would actually work.
Oh, it's really not hard to do. You go through the button, the little test button, take that loose and run wires off of it, and some sort of a trigger from there. I used a clothespin with 2 metal pieces on it and a plastic spacer between them, and when I pulled the plastic spacer out, it went off. And it would continue to go off until I put something between there in that contact.
All right, so you could do the same thing on your doors to your supermobile and just hook it up with a pull pin. And,
exactly, and you could you could quite literally just put it on the outside of the car and decorate that, and they just think it's part of the decorations,
Yep. That would be cool.
So we got about 5 minutes left. what is the feasibility? Now, we're going to get into the fence. What is the feasibility of a mounted taser or a mounted pepper spray or something along that lines of non-lethal? You know, even a mounted rubber bullet, you know.
Well,
it's really doable.
I don't know that I would actually want to do that because it would obviously look like a weapon if it was mounted actually on the car. What would be better is to hide one behind the grill or something like that. And, you know, as far as mechanics go, anything's possible. It's just a matter of how useful it is. Now, I did know a guy when I was in the Navy, and he was into the gadget things too, but he had a '69 Roadrunner, and it was beautiful, right? And his security system on it wasn't really a security system. He had a neon transformer hooked up to the door handles, and it ran off of a battery. And so whenever he armed the system, if you touched the door handles, it would shock you. It's like 17,000 volts, right? So you're not going to open the door. So I do know that it's possible to electrify a vehicle if you want to.
My uncle actually did that with an electric fencer.
Yeah, much like an electric fence, yeah.
And he did that. Somebody was messing with the vehicle, and he hooked the cattle fencer up to his van and left it up there at night, and it was quite entertaining. I'm bug zappers, you know, that kind of stuff. I'm from the South. It's quite entertaining. Now, we've only got about 4 minutes left. I want to thank you for coming on here, and I'm going to stay after the close of music here, after the close of the show, and kind of tease next week's show and a few other things. So anybody that's not listening now, or that is listening now and hasn't called in, you can pick up the podcast. But we're going to have next week's show. Definitely, I want to go ahead and touch on. We're going to have Valerie Finnegan with the comic books Real Tales from Iraq, Afghanistan, and from September 11th, where they're taking the rescue worker stories, the soldier stories about the war on terror and all this that has gone on in the past several years, and they put it into comic book form, and they're using these true stories in comic book form. They're selling this and using that to help the people that have been injured in the war on terror, the people that have lost loved ones in that, just basically the people that have gone out and fought for our liberty and either gave the partial or total cost of their life, and they're helping them kind of get back on their feet with this. So it looks to be a really good show. I'm excited about having it. It's our 4th of July special, and that's going to be a lot of fun. I've got some other things coming up. Like I said, I'll tease those again in the after show for about 5 minutes. Then I will see y'all next week. ARTISTEROI, anything you want to add?
No, I think that's about it. Drive safely. I suppose that's probably the best thing for your supermobile. Don't get your license revoked. That would be a bad thing. So. Yep.
You're going to keep working on getting us an autopilot for that, right?
Autopilot.
We need an autopilot.
This is true. I think an autopilot would probably be safer than a lot of the drivers here in Florida, actually.
It would be really great to have an autopilot and a coffee maker. You know, that way you get up, go to the back, get a cup of coffee while you're going down the highway. And
I've actually seen that in cars before.
The coffee maker or the autopilot?
Both of them, actually. There was a guy back in the '60s built a car that he drove across country without stopping. He drove from New York to Los Angeles without stopping. Had a little trailer on the back of it, and it could even change a flat tire while moving. It was an amazing vehicle.
Wow. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Our ending theme song, just reminding everybody this is the world of spandex. Don't take yourself too serious, but get out there and try and impact the world. Everybody get ready to do your little dance, because here comes Men in Tights.
We're men in tights. We roam around the forest looking for light. We're men in tights. We run from the rich and give to the poor, that's right. We may look like citizens, but what would you say, or else we'll put out your light. We're men in tights. Always on guard, defending the people's rights. La 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 We're men, manly men, we're men in fight. Yeah! We roam around the forest looking for fight. We're men in time. We rob from the rich and give to the poor, that's right. We may look like candy, but don't get us wrong or else we'll put out your life. We're men in tight, tight, tight. Always on guard, defending the people's rights. When you're in a fix, just call for the men inside. We're Butch.
All right, we are no longer on the air. We've only got about 10 to 15 minutes left here. I just kind of want to touch base on some of the things that are coming up. Now, I told you about the Real Tales from Iraq and Valerie Finnegan, and I'm looking forward to what she and her teammates, whoever calls in with her, has to say on that. It's going to be on the 3rd of July, the day before that 4th of July, of course, the day before the holiday there. That's our patriotic tribute for the month there for the show. On the 10th of July, we're going to talk about animal rehab therapy with Ferris from, she's from the Skiffy Town League of Heroes, among other things. And she's going to tell us about how she's had her pet trained to work with people as a therapy animal. On the 17th of July, the hardest working man in the community, Danger Man's going to be with us. I really don't even know what to do with Danger Man. He has always got something going. Then on the 24th of July, two of our most enigmatic, I can't even say that word, members of the community, Cognito and Moxie, will be joining us, talking about what they do. Then, of course, coming up in August, I have several things, and I've got to get some more booked in here, but I've got Executrix coming and talk about Zombie Walks and her charity event she's on like that, and Phoenix Jones, the man, the big name, the one that has been in the news, will be with us. And I've got openings coming up, and ARTISTEROI, I'd like to get you back here sometime in September, if we can, and talk about your Iron Red project. How does that sound?
Well, I'm game. I'm game. We've got a lot going on with Iron Red.
How about August 28th? It's the last week of August. I'll go ahead and pencil you in.
All right. August 28th. I'll mark that on my calendar.
Yeah, I always enjoy having you in here and talk about these gadget things because it's a fun show. It's lighthearted, informative at the same time. So when you get to talk about the people that are doing the street patrols, and you get to talk about the people that are doing the charity events and all the drama and controversy that can be out there in the community, it's nice to just have stuff to talk about and some very creative ways to handle the topic. So I like having you on as a regular here. At least once a quarter we need to have some sort of gadget show.
All right, cool.
Maybe down the road we'll get the White Baron that does this also, and have a gadget debate.
Excellent. I'd like to talk to White Baron. Actually, I have recently contacted him about a new project of mine that I'm working on, and I'm waiting to hear back from him. So
we might just get a brain trust in here one day and have you and White Baron and Victim and whoever else we can get that does this, and just come up with a really creative show on that. I'll see what kind of a solution to how we can take a simple problem and make it technical and have fun with it. Maybe get everybody together and build that hovercraft up in London.
Ooh. Speaking of which, there's a new type of jet engine on the market, just debuted at the Paris Air Show just a few weeks ago. And it's a jet engine that points in any direction. It doesn't just thrust to the back. It thrusts in any direction. And what they've done is, in order to show how incredibly awesome it is, they built an airplane without wings, and it flies. That's hovercraft. It was freaking amazing. It was the coolest thing I have ever seen.
Oh, you do know it's possible to build a hovercraft using plywood, PVC, and a leaf blower.
Yeah. Yep. I've actually got designs for a hovercraft / motorcycle, which is built from a blower system. And
thought about the motorcycle look on that. That could be interesting. Of course, the only problem is, how do you steer? How do you stop?
Yeah, that's the big problem with the hovercraft is, you know, if you've got it on a small incline, if it's not perfectly level, it slides. It'll just slide down a hill, and there's nothing you can do about it. And if there's a crosswind, it will slide. There's nothing you can do about that either. So there's no friction underneath of it.
You almost have to have some mercury wheels that could drop down or something.
Yeah, you need something to contact the surface of the ground in order to keep it stable. So, and that's always been the shortcoming of a hovercraft, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think that's definitely been something I want to do for a while. I've got the plans sitting here on my computer. I look at them every so often. It'll be great. But it doesn't take a lot of skill to build one from what I've seen, you know. Just a little bit of plumbing skills, you know.
Oh. Well, I just wish the gadgets weren't so expensive to build. That's the only problem I've always had with them is, you know, where do I get some money to build my next toy with?
Definitely. Well, I want to thank you for coming on the show. This has been a great show. I've enjoyed it. The 30 minutes has gone way too fast, and we're eating up the extra 15 as we talk. So I want to thank you for coming on, and I'll see you again at the end of August.
All right.
And we'll talk about the Iron Red project, and we'll just keep coming up with more reasons to have you on here as a regular. You're gonna, right now, I think you are the most. You and Silver Sentinel neck and neck are the most repeated.
All right. Well, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I've enjoyed it, and just keep taking those notes. We may build that supermobile someday, just to do it.
Yeah. Oh, I will.
You can't even need special. A super school bus. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, that would be fun.
What can we
that would
put
be
up
cool.
instead of a school bus?
All right, Crossfire. I appreciate it. And,
to all my listeners, I will see you next week. Same cross time, same cross channel. Everybody keep walking that high road, doing the right things, and I'll see you then. Take it easy.
All right. Bye, man.
Bye-bye.